I've really been drawn to a healing justice framework and working from a place of ensuring that communities, particularly Black, Indigenous communities of color, have access to spaces that promote and facilitate healing in addition to bringing forth joy. Because I think that being in communities that are joyful is incredibly important. I grew up with a very, very large family. I lived in an intergenerational home for a very long time. So we were like 1 month into the pandemic and I was talking to my aunt and she was saying how she really needed to access the food bank, but that every time she had gone, she wasn't receiving foods that she could cook with. And so she opted to actually not return to the food bank for that particular reason, which broke my heart. I'm just like, it kind of reminded me of when growing up and living in poverty and having to go to food banks and having the same feeling. My family doesn't cook with any of this. Like, even though, I grew up here, most of the things that I know how to cook are Mexican food. Like, I don't know how to cook a lot of American food or any other food for that matter. And I started to think about it and I was like, I have built these relationships and partnerships with these nonprofits. And so I reached out to them and I said, hey, I have this idea. What do you think about starting a food bank that is specifically Latino foods? All of them said yes. And how are we gonna do this? Our partner organizations sent over their volunteers. We were incredibly intentional about what food we wanted to give out, particularly staples. Not everybody Latino is Mexican and not everybody eats hot and spicy stuff. So let's make sure that we have a variety of boxes. And that's where the idea to create 3 different food boxes came out. The Mexican box, the Central American box, and the Caribbean box. We were also incredibly intentional about what type of feeling do we want to give this food bank? Because a lot of folks feel a lot of stigma when they go to food banks and they're not necessarily excited to go access food banks. All of our volunteers are Latino Spanish speaking, and so we're able to greet folks in a very lively and communal way. We designed it, it took 3 weeks, and then we launched it. All we heard was amazing things. Thank you, I used everything in the box. The only recommendation is to add more beans, increase the pound of things. Part of what I've learned is that you must leave this world better for the generations ahead of you. And I truly believe that things are gonna be better. They have to be better because so many folks, this planet, the people and all the creatures living on it depend on our work for its survival.